Box office numbers, superhero flicks, studio-centered visions, and streaming seem to all contribute to Martin Scorsese's claim that quote-unquote cinema is gone. Other great filmmakers such as Ridley Scott and Quentin Tarantino have uttered similar statements, with Ridley Scott saying, "I want to keep doing cinema, and I hope it doesn't affect those of us who still keep making smart films. I'm hoping it doesn't affect me." Tarantino, in his analysis on the dying nature of cinema, has claimed a different statement, referring to the death of the movie star. His idea is that actors playing the roles aren't the stars, but rather the characters are. Characters like Spider-Man, Batman, or Captain America are the ones pushing the audience to buy their tickets and fill their popcorn. Now, is this an actual fair assessment, or simply the ramblings of three out-of-touch directors? Well, I hate to say it to you fellow MCU and DC diehards, as I am one myself, but from the objective eyes of a filmmaker, they do kinda have a point. It seems as if the landscape of cinema is in the time period of the blockbuster. Now, what does blockbuster actually mean? The definition of a blockbuster is that it's a work of entertainment used to describe a feature film produced by a major film studio, but also other media that is highly popular and financially successful. A blockbuster prioritizes spectacle, such as special effects, a popular cast, and high-stakes storytelling. It is essentially an audience-pleasing type of event. Now, is this necessarily a bad thing? No. Some of my favorite films of all time are blockbusters, and while I can't blame these mega studios for continuously milking out this formula, I will say that for the quintessential filmmaking auteur, it can be incredibly damaging. The first thing that's important to highlight is that no, we can't blame the audience for seeing what they want to see, at least most of the time. People are free to watch whatever they want to watch, but I think the important thing to recognize is that the audience will watch whatever is available to watch. Due to the almost bullying nature that these blockbusters have, due to its seemingly limitless amounts of money in advertising and promotion, it makes it so more people want to see those kinds of films and not something that deserves as much attention. I think a great example of what I'm talking about is in the year 2016. Now, 2016 was quite the year for cinema, as we had some of the biggest blockbusters come out during that time, such as Captain America's Civil War, Batman vs. Superman, and Deadpool. But we also had lots of other great non-blockbuster based films, such as Manchester by the Sea, Nocturnal Animals, Fences, and one of my favorite films of all time, Moonlight. I'm now going to compare and contrast their box office success just so I can prove my point. So, Moonlight grossed $65,336,603. Fences, $64,414,761. Manchester by the Sea, $78,988,148. And Nocturnal Animals, $30,311,857. Now for the blockbuster films, Deadpool grossed $782,612,155. Batman vs. Superman, $873,634,919. And Captain America Civil War, $1,153,296,293. So as you can see, the blockbusters have made quite a bit more money, and I would have to say that Tarantino is spot on about his assessment that characters are the stars of the films they're in and not actually the actors when regarding MCU movies and DCEU movies. But once again, I mean, who wouldn't want to see Batman and Superman fight each other, or Captain America and Iron Man fight each other? So, is there any way for this to change for us film buffs, or will the blockbuster formula be the new gold standard for our industry? Well, there is hope. As you may know, if you watch my last video, link in the description, I recently had the opportunity to go to the Hawaiian International Film Festival, where I was able to watch some of the most fascinating and creative films I've seen in a long time. Films like Nanny, which I already reviewed, again, link in the description, The Wind and the Reckoning, Holy Spider, Goodbye Cruel World, and Broker are some of the best films I've seen this year. The unfortunate thing about this is that these are all great films that probably won't get as much attention as something like Everything Everywhere All at Once or The Northman, for example, a film which I don't think deserves as much hype as people gave it. Although Everything Everywhere All at Once is absolute perfection and can do no wrong. Anyway, film festivals are very important for filmmakers like myself. It's a time where we all gather together to share and showcase our work. Think Comic-Con, but more film-based nerdiness. It gives us the opportunity to showcase our storytelling skills without having the resources of marketing and promotion like mainstream filmmakers and studios have. It enables every voice to be heard, and some of the most beautiful voices I have heard this year from film were from these independent filmmakers that showcase their work. Even the short films were amazing. And you want to know the truly beautiful thing? Film festivals are not just an event for filmmakers. The general public can go to most of these festivals as well. So ultimately, if you're a fellow film buff like myself who is worried about the current state of cinema, a great way to regain hope is to support these festivals and, more importantly, support the independent, talented voices of these auteurs. And if you're a fellow filmmaker like myself who wants to showcase their work and leave the mark on the world, then I suggest that you always make sure to submit your work to these festivals as well.